Hello, I'm Alan, welcome to Guitar Shack. So today is the start of a new video, possibly video series. I've got a couple of Telecaster parts caster builds on the go at the moment, which are these. So what I was going to do is just document the process and talk about what I do and why I do it. So both of these are been built up out of mostly parts that I have either got lying about from other builds or parts that I wanted to use to try stuff out. And I'll talk about each of them in turn. So this one, the red one, is a 2012 Telecaster Blacktop body in candy apple red that I bought many years ago, and which I've had built up before in various configurations. It's in decent shape. The thing I like about blacktops is, which I think is also true of Player HHs, is it's got a belly cut in here, which is quite nice. The thing I don't like about blacktops is that they come with a humbucker up front, a humbucker here, a little black pickup ring, and then a separate half bridge. And for some reason, that just doesn't really float my boat, and it just never felt like a proper telly to me, so it tended not to get played that much. So, but I've come across these. So this is obviously a Telecaster style metal bridge plate, which I think gives it, does it give it more of the tele twang? I'm not sure, but it certainly gives it more of the Telecaster vibe and look. So I'm pairing that with the body, and then I've got a couple of IronGear pickups. So these are both PAFs. This one is a Dirty Torque, which is quite high output, decent bridge pickup, quite gnarly. And then this one is a blues engine, which is really nice. I've used these in a few builds, and I've put these in as neck pickups in humbucker conversions on single coil tellies, and they go really nicely. Very well named blues engine pickup. They're both 4-wire, so I am going to wire them up with coil splits. So I've got control plate. Now on the blacktop originally the controls are reversed, but I don't like that, so I'm going to build it in a traditional Telecaster fashion. I have a black pick guard, which will take a little bit of fettling, but I'll make it fit, and then that'll go in there like that. And I've got a wiring kit somewhere, which you don't really need to see, but it's got 500k pots and orange drop and a decent metal switch. Although I'm thinking I might actually swap out the pots for these, which are switchable push, and if I do that, which I probably will just for kicks, if I build it up using them, then I can split the coils on these. Not actually that convinced by those split coil humbuckers. I've had them in the past on Epiphones, the S35 style ones, and an Epiphone Les Paul, and they're not really that convincing on their own, but I did find that I quite liked a humbucker in the neck with a split humbucker in the bridge and then a split on the neck. That was quite a nice tone on my Epiphone ES335 that I used to play. So I might do that just for fun and then build it up that way. That'll make it a bit more versatile. And then I've got this neck which is going to go on it. So you might have seen this neck before. I put it on a blue Telecaster body, but I've taken it back off again because I think it would suit this build better. There's just something about the candy apple red, the extra chrome on the bridge and the big chrome pickups. I think the blocks fit nicely with it and makes it quite a kind of funky, jazzy kind of, well, not jazzy, but it makes it quite a bling Telecaster, and I quite like the look of this. So I'm going to build this up and see what that sounds like, mainly for kicks. So here is the hardware build. So I've got the new bridge installed. I've got the two humbuckers laid in, and I've got the wiring complete, and then I've got all these dry fitted. So the next thing I've been doing is adjusting the pick guard. So the pick guard is aftermarket, it's a Music Lily, but they're usually pretty good. What I always do is I focus on trying to make sure that the holes line up, and then adjust the fit around everything else. So I had to adjust a little bit around the control plate, and then obviously this is a bigger than standard bridge, so I've had to do quite a lot of trimming around here to make that fit, and then double checking it that once the neck goes on that it will actually fit, and the answer is yes. So I've got all the holes, hopefully are going to go straight in. I like to get a neat professional finish with no sort of wonky screws anywhere, so hopefully this will be that. But I'm just going to go in, now that I've got everything set up, I'm going to go in and do one final check of the electronics. I'm not entirely convinced that the push pulls are working as they should, so I'm going to look at that again, and then I'll get her built up and strung up. So I've just been rooting through my parts bin and looking at what saddles to put on this bridge, and so I'm thinking about these stainless steel ones which came off a decent quality half bridge that I've got, because I quite like them. However, the trouble with having a fairly extensive parts bin is you always find stuff that gives you new ideas, and I found these compensated Wilkinson 3 saddles, brass, and I'm thinking I might do what's known as the Bubba mod. And the Bubba mod is very simply that you re-drill the holes in the back of the bridge so that it takes 3 saddles, which is an easy thing to do, although I've never done it, and that allows you to fit a traditional 3 saddle Tele bridge. And I kind of like that as well. I think it looks good, but I also think as part of the vibe of this guitar, that will go quite nicely along with the fact that I've got the classic gear tuners on it with the split posts. So the other thing it will do is I had to actually cut the grind down the screws on the humbucker and the bridge to make it fit the cavity, because they were longer ones. So if I'm taking that bridge off again, I can swap those with the 2 short screws in the neck, and then that solves my problem there. So, you know, improvisation on the fly, but I think even just from an aesthetic point of view, I think that looks better, and I like the brass sitting inside the silver on the candy apple red. I just think it's very cool. And there we go, brass 3 saddle bridge, Telecaster style metal bridge plate, 2 humbuckers, both of them coil tapped, so ready to give it a good polish and then string it up. So, end result time. So, fully built up, all up and running, set up, and just a few sound samples. So, this is clean, a little bit of reverb through a Marshall DSL 5C valve amp. So, humbucker bridge. Middle position. And then neck. And then if I split them, so bridge, and then neck. Bit more of a volume drop on the neck split than the bridge split, I think. Still quite twangy. Bridge split, I think, is still quite usable. Let's try it with a bit of distortion, or a bit of overdrive anyway. So this is bridge full. I think that's quite usable on with overdrive. So on the neck, and then split. So overall, I'd say not bad. Actually, I'm quite surprised by the split sounds. It does have a nice full humbucker sound. That's quite spanky. That's okay. So that's bridge full neck split. So split. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this build. I like the colour, always have done. I like the extra chrome that comes along with having put on the full size bridge plate and having the two covered humbuckers. I think it gives it quite a blingy effect, which plays quite nicely with the block inlays. So I think this is a really cool Telecaster, and I'm going to stick with that opinion. I actually think that having a Tele style metal plate does transform an HH Telecaster. I think it looks more like a Telecaster should. I think if Fender did that, they would sell more HH Telecasters because I just think they look a little bit odd. The Player HH and the Blacktop. Personal opinion, obviously. I think given the fact that this is built mainly out of Fender parts, so it's genuine Fender body, genuine Fender neck, genuine Fender tuners, and then everything else is sort of an upgrade. I'm going to call this a hot rodded blacktop as opposed to a pure parts caster. But it's not going anywhere anyway, so I'm not intending to sell it. So I'm going to be keeping this for my own personal collection. I like the tone that I'm getting out of these IronGear pickups. I think having a couple of humbuckers and a telly-shaped body is definitely a good thing. I've never really got on with Les Pauls; they just don't do it for me. I do have quite a few 335 style Epiphones. I love them, but I think having that kind of sound in a solid body in a telly is a nice compromise. Um, and I think overall, for me, this is what parts casters are all about. Most of this is just stuff that I had lying around from other builds, and it is an opportunity for me to build the kind of guitar that I would like and that Fender don't do. I actually think if they did one with the, I've never seen them actually use this neck in a production model. It's only really available as a genuine parts aftermarket, and I think that's a shame because I think something set up like this. I think it's a really sexy telly, and I think it would sell if they built it. So Fender, if you do, I'll have a royalty, please. Um, okay, I hope you found that interesting. Be interested in your views in the comments and see what you think of what I've done here. I will be moving on to building up the blonde offset Telecaster within the next month or so. So there'll be a kind of part two to this kind of part caster series. So watch out for that one. In the meantime, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you back in the shack soon.